I wanted to briefly revisit geometric sequences. Okay, so I noticed a bit of maybe confusion or trouble with this formula, right? When we want to write an equation for the nth term of a geometric sequence. Okay, so remember, it's simply our first term times our common ratio to the power of n minus 1. So for example, if we look at this first geometric sequence, right, we can tell it's geometric because we are multiplying by 2 every time. So because we're multiplying by 2 every time, that means our common ratio is 2. So r is 2. Our first term is 1. So the formula for the nth term would simply be 1 times 2 to the n minus 1. And we can simplify that to 2 to the n minus 1. Okay, and then we can use that. So for example, if I said find the 8th term, well, then the 8th term would be equal to 2 to the 8 minus 1, which would be 2 to the 7th. Okay, let's look at this next one. We have 24, negative 12, 6, negative 3, 1.5. So again, a sub n, okay, our nth term will be equal to our first term times the common ratio to the power of n minus 1. So our first term is 24. Okay, and our common ratio here, right, is negative 1/2, or negative 0.5. So in parentheses, we'll have negative 1/2 to the power of n minus 1. Now it's important here that we remember order of operations, right? I cannot say 24 times negative 1/2 is equal to negative 12, because order of operations, remember, exponents are going to be first. So we need to leave this how it is. Okay, and notice again that I have this in parentheses. It's important that we keep it that way, because a negative sign in parentheses when you're raising it to an exponent, right? For example, negative 2 to the second power is negative 2 times negative 2, which is positive 4. If we didn't have parentheses there, right, if we just had negative 1/2 squared, that's just going to do negative 2 squared. Order of operations would simply be 2 squared is 4, and then a negative attached to it, right? That's effectively negative 1 times 2 squared. So always put your common ratio here in parentheses to help avoid those problems. Okay, one last one. We have negative 2, negative 10, negative 50, negative 250. So we can tell that our common ratio here is 5. We're multiplying by 5. So that means r equals 5. And our first term is negative 2. So our nth term will be equal to negative 2 times 5 to the power of n minus 1.